Anyway, long story less long. So 2019, we don't talk. He's going through it. I was like going through some transition stuff as well. He calls June of last year and says, hey, I got this idea. Coinbase is never going to build it. I'm like, all right, tell me more. And he's like, well, it's, remember when we interviewed for this thing? It's, we're going to build these portfolios and so on. I'm like, all right. I was like, I'll help you raise money for it. Or, I'm like, I'm doing that. He's like, no, we should have another conversation. And when you're talking to somebody, it's like they want to tell you something, they don't tell you.
Yeah.
We have a second call, and he's like, well, it's like there's this idea. It's like it was on-ramp, but it's defunct now. It's like it's just a logo, which I found out later. And he was like, I think you should run it. And I'm like, hell no, I don't want to be the CEO of a startup.
Yeah.
Third call, I said, look, all right. He's like,
how much equity are we talking about?
Yeah. We started getting to that, but I'm like,
okay,
if I do it, we got to go directly to advisors and get in the workflows, in the tech stack, right? CRM, portfolio management software.
Yeah.
We don't get there, I'm out. I don't want to build another hotel. There's plenty of hotels. And he was like, all right, cool. And that's when OnRamp was born, right? So August 3rd, right, day after my birthday of 20, we actually announced it that I was CEO.
And you guys are 40-something people?
40-something people.
I mean,
it's
and
crazy.
you're going to be 100 next year.
Easily. We'll probably be 100 by the middle of next year.
Keep raising money.
Yes, 100%. The burn rate is trending with Bitcoin. So it's like,
let's talk about crypto. JC's been writing about how cryptocurrencies are every technical analyst's dream. By the way, there's definitely a business opportunity between you two. I don't know what it is.
We've been chopping it up. It's coming.
I'm sure. I'm sure.
The world's not ready for it yet.
The advisors are going to need research. Yeah. And this is my personal opinion. I've said this before. I'm sorry if this offends anybody. The only legitimate research on crypto prices are in price.
Yeah.
Because there's no PE ratio. So I understand you want to vet how legit the blockchain is. It's, of course, obvi. But where's the price going?
Yeah.
I'm not saying anybody knows, but if you're not looking at price itself as your indicator, I don't really know.
Well, I feel like you need two things. You need one analyst to say, okay, this blockchain is not a scam. It's a real blockchain.
It's a baseline.
We're not going to get rugged. It's real technology. And then you need JC.
Yeah.
Right. All right. So this is JC. I'm quoting you. Cryptocurrencies are every technical analyst's dream. No gaps. 24/7 markets. No circuit breakers. Countless technical tools. No arbitrary fundamental models. No government intervention. I'll take the other side of that. Pure supply and demand at work. Okay. Go on. I love this.
Well, listen, shout out. I mean, it's not just me. When we have a massive team, you guys are 40, we're 30. We have a big team, 6 different countries, and we really come together and everybody's an expert in different areas, right? So what you see in terms of the final product, there's a lot of heads there, right? So shout to Louis, shout to Straza, Grant, everybody out there. I think people put cryptocurrencies on a pedestal, right?
Yeah, Tyrone. I've been telling him stop doing that.
As they should.
Don't do that.
Well, he's bringing the cryptocurrencies off the pedestal and making it more approachable.
Sure.
Right? To people who have barriers to entry, whether it be RIAs or institutions, where they can't just go like a cowboy on some random crypto wallet, right? Or exchange, right? You can't do that. But for 99.9% of investors who don't have those hurdles, they're putting it on a pedestal because they might not understand or they think they don't understand. But at the end of the day, all these cryptocurrencies are just more stocks.
Yeah, but it's like stocks on bath salt with the way that they move.
The volatility is 4x.
For the record, there are plenty of stocks that
Small
are
caps.
on bath salt and micro caps as well.
On the pink sheets.
Number one. Number two, crypto trades 168 hours a week. The stock market trades on an annualized basis 31 and a half hours a week.
Bing.
So if you
Price
adjust
discovery.
for time, they're actually nowhere near as volatile as many of those bath salt stocks.
Stop.
you're not-
Talk that talk. Talk that talk.
Michael's saying, wait.
Talk that talk.
Adjusting for time?
We deal in periods.
Time adjusted.
Oh my God.
It's the new metric.
All right, let's just move past
We
this.
deal with periods. Listen,
It's the
if
new
you
metric.
want to include the sun and the moon and the stars into your analysis, you're welcome to. For us who deal in periods, we don't have to worry about the planets and the sun.
Wait, what?
Yeah, because if you're so obsessed over time, all you're doing is bringing in an element of where the
cooking.
Earth is based on the sun, which we don't have to worry about that. We can just look at the periods.
Did you take bath salts before you got here?
No, we're doing it before
You're
dinner.
saying
Later.
9:30 a.m. and 4 p.m. are arbitrary.
Arbitrary
No,
numbers.
those are 6.5 hours.
So pull those out.
That's 31 and a half hours a week, as opposed to 168 hours a week.
Okay.
So daily charts on crypto are really the equivalent
3
of
times as
weekly
much.
charts.
I got it. I understand. I
5
understand what you're
times
saying.
It's like
as much.
time dilation
I
in the metaverse. I get it.
okay.
Web3.
So I get that. Back up this no government intervention part because that's about to be a whole lot of bullshit.
Well, you can walk that back.
I know. I'm pretty. Yeah. I mean, I'll totally walk that walk that back. There is some government intervention, and just because Chinese people can't be in cryptocurrencies, that's not my problem, or yours, or Josh. Right? It's not our problem. That's their problem.
But it could be the crypto market.
But why should I be concerned with what Chinese people are doing with their crypto? We have to be concerned with what we're doing with our crypto.
Fair.
Number one. Number two, theoretically, if an entire country, particularly the size of China, can no longer be in that, in theory, that means there's less demand. That is a bearish news item, you would think.
And it was.
And it went up.
And what happened?
But it did go down. And then
the market ripped.
Yeah, exactly.
So this goes back to the beginning of time, any asset class, not just crypto. It could be in the stock market, it could be in the bond market. You'll get that knee-jerk reaction, and then the real move takes place. And the fact that bad news comes out and crypto rips and Bitcoin has, an epic ripper. I mean, up 25, 30% or something
But wait,
like that in a
hold
few
on.
days.
But the Chinese news did send it dramatically lower, but it was for like 7 days. It was so right. It was over before it started.
That's the equivalent of a bear market.
It fell 20%.
crypto
It
land.
fell 20% in probably a day and a half.
Right.
Right, but it came back in. How long was the bear market? 14 days, if that.
Yeah. And more importantly, again, if for all my crypto hippies out there, especially looking at Bitcoin, the hash rate is right back where it was, right? And reaching all-time highs.
What does
now.
that mean? Explain that to us.
Just the strength of the network, right? Obviously, all those miners in China go offline. It hurt, right? The hash rate. The hash rate now is recovered, which is, again, you want to talk about something that's incredible. The
Why
Bitcoin
should we
blockchain.
Why should we care about hash rate? What is that meaningful to people that own Bitcoin?
Well, which people? Those that I think it matters to.
All right, I'm a non-miner. I'm
Right.
a Coinbase guy.
No, what you shouldn't care because
Okay.
if you just care about the little b price, you shouldn't care.
Okay.
If you care about the big B blockchain technology and how that's changing the world, you absolutely care. I
Tyrone,
care about
everyone. You care about the blockchain.
Yes.
Right. You care about what it's going to do for the unbanked.
that 100%.
I would say 99% of crypto investors, probably more, care about the price.
100%.
I don't care at
disagree.
all.
I don't
For the
disagree.
record,
Yeah,
every
I don't disagree.
cryptocurrency can go to zero, and I don't give a shit.
We know.
That's not my problem.
And there you have it.
I don't care at all.
on.
But here's
Just to
here's
be
the beautiful
clear.
thing, though. Here's the beautiful thing.
care.
One, if they go to zero, the technology's not going anywhere. It still works. So those people still get help. So if it goes to zero, a lot of investors get hurt. But as far as being able to transfer value, any type of value in real time to somebody in the South Bronx to Nigeria, that can happen. So yeah, let it go to zero. The technology still will exist.
I think the bullish case is so simple. In my opinion, I don't know anything about the technology that anybody else. I know nothing about the technology, relatively speaking. What I do know is that demand for Bitcoin, we just talked about it at the top of the show, is just going mainstream. It is literally just starting. And I don't know how you can have all of these new investors come into an asset class that is a finite amount of supply, given the amount of minting that happens, which is on schedule, is finite. And the fact that nobody sells. The hodlers of Bitcoin, they never sell.
Here's the monkey wrench in that.
Hang on, let me just finish. Is it possible, and I want to be open-minded, is it possible that all of this institutional investor demand, all the RIAs start investing and the price goes down?
Yes.
How?
Because if they start investing in 50 different protocols and not 2 or 3.
But they're not going to start
No,
investing in 50.
I can tell you right
It's
now.
a fusion.
when-
It's a
when-
fusion
It's
across.
only $2 trillion. That's nothing.
Exactly.
There's
It's
no way.
tiny.
They're
$2
coming to
trillion is
Bitcoin.
tiny.
$2 trillion and zero might as well be the same thing.
Yeah, exactly.
But
when you look at capital markets
They're
overall,
coming to Bitcoin. That's where they're
100%.
starting.
I agree
So
with
even
you.
though we might think Bitcoin is digital gold, it doesn't do anything, Ethereum's the internet, the future, that doesn't matter. Advisors are coming to Bitcoin first. They're not going to 50 other
100%.
protocols. They're going to Bitcoin.
100%. Well, I agree with you. Yeah, when the
that's fair.
high tower
That's
moves,
fair.
they're going to Bitcoin.
going to
They're not going to
Bitcoin.
Isn't
Cardano.
digital
or
gold
Solana.
like an insult to Bitcoin?
Yes.
Yes.
I wish people would stop
Gold
that.
is way dumber.
I think it's an analog that we can all
People
understand.
who own gold,
There you
just
go.
look at their charts blindfolded.
There you go. And I talked to a lot of CIOs and they all, of RIAs,
Cut his mic off.
and they say the same thing. Well,
He's
Tyrone,
dropping bombs on
you know,
all this.
is it digital gold? And I'm like, well, it's hard to say to a client, Mr. and Mrs. Client, we're going to rotate out of this internet money into this internet protocol here. Like, so for
All
an advisor,
internet money.
If you flip
Right,
the chart
but my
of gold,
point-
then
right.
it looks like.
But my point
What's
is,
your point?
if you frame it as gold to a client,
People get it.
They can look at, oh, gold, we're going out of this, and oh, this is like gold. Oh, okay. So it's kind of like, oh, it tastes like mayonnaise.
Can I throw one thing out?
Don't
Do
even
it.
start with your fruit takes.
I
Don't-
won't. I'm
Yeah,
done.
he has a taste thing where he tastes everything wrong. Do you know what
He
that-
doesn't
you ever
like
hear that?
tacos?
No, he's a
like,
super
I
taster.
can't be
I'm a-
friends
I
with
am.
somebody.
No, he's a legitimate. He's a super taster.
100%.
That's why he's so skinny, because food's not good.
The people who eat cilantro.
I wish I had that. Could I borrow that problem for 3 months?
Yeah,
JC, you know
I got
people,
you.
you know people
Modeling.
that eat cilantro and they think it tastes like soap?
Yes.
That's
That's
Tyrone.
it, yeah,
That's why
100%.
his taste buds are demented.
A lot of people. That's very common.
No, it's
It
for real.
is. Absolutely.
So
Very
it's not his fault. It's not
All right,
his
so
fault.
one thing on the Bitcoin is gold thing.
Do it.
The one thing gold has on Bitcoin is longevity, and it really does. Like, it has a very, very long history of being meaningful to humankind. Take that away, not that you can, but strip that out. There's literally nothing gold does that Bitcoin can't.
that's
and Bitcoin can do a lot of things that gold can't.
Yeah.
Very true.
Yeah, but that's like
Very
saying
true.
take LeBron off any team and they're not the team. You know,
Right.
Fine.
Yeah.
I fully acknowledging this thing in the Wall Street Journal about wealth management adopting Bitcoin. I'm just going to read this one part. Here's the pitch. Investors can buy Bitcoin, Ether, and other cryptocurrencies through their broker. If cryptocurrencies fall by a certain amount, the accounts are set to automatically sell the digital coins, generating a taxable loss that can be used to offset other investment gains. The accounts then buy the coins back. There's no wash sale rule with coins.
That's going to be over in January.
In a short
right?
time for around the same price
No?
or even less. So you got a stock market up 18%. I could book some quick losses in Ethereum and offset my gains in stocks. Is that too easy? Can I really do that?
really
You can't do it. And that's what's so frustrating with
it's
this. I've been
property.
saying this for years
Are people doing this?
about no wash sale rule.
Yes.
They should. Yes, they are. Like
It's
it is-
legal.
Yes, I've been saying this for years. I don't know if you guys remember. There was a tweet that I posted where I was like waiting for a client. I was an advisor then. I was waiting for a client, and I just shot a video, and I had mentioned there's no wash sale rule. It went nuts. And
Also,
it was like,
there's high correlation between a lot of, let's be honest, like the cryptos are as highly correlated as if they were all stocks in the same sector.
Hang on. Am I
Right,
JC, Jay, you know, am I listening to my mind?
Sometimes yes, sometimes
I
no.
feel like they're getting less correlated.
Yeah. It goes in ebbs and
No,
flows.
but I'm saying in general, I see them starting to break apart from each other. They all directionally move together.
You know how like oil stocks, like all the oil drillers, they're of course different companies.
Yeah.
But when crude oil goes up $10,
That's a good analogy.
they all go up 4 or 5%.
Yeah.
When there's like quote good crypto news, like Gensler says he's not going to cancel it or whatever. To me, I just look at Coinbase because I'm a noob.
Yeah.
And they're all up roughly the same amount.
No, directionally they all move together.
Or okay, fine. That's what I'm trying to say.
But they don't move the same amount.
Bitcoin was up like 10% the other day, and every other coin was down.
Okay.
Which if you would
For
have
how
told,
long though? Over what period of time though? An hour?
over a few days,
Okay.
right?
All right.
Which is the equivalent of weeks in the stock market.
So you're seeing more dispersion.
Wait, how about this?
It goes in ebbs and flows. It comes and goes. Like sometimes correlations spike and sometimes they fall apart. Same thing with correlation between crypto and the stock market, right? Correlation spike and then it comes off and then it spikes. So, I don't think there's really anything consistent. If you want to buy Algorand, buy Algorand. If you want to buy,
Right. Don't worry about what the
if you
other
want to buy
cryptos are doing.
Square, buy Square. Don't. And that's something that I learned the hard way in intermarket analysis. Like it's like, well, if the dollar does this, then the S&P is going to do that, then gold's going to do this, then buy emerging markets. Like what? Right?
Hashtag macro.
Right.
Hashtag process.
Yeah, and it's just right, exactly. It's like what? If you like the dollar, buy the dollar. If you hate,
Tyrone.
you right?
I just want to see what's going on. I was going to say, like, look at
There's
Solana.
side text going on?
Solana moves differently than and look
Straight
this,
down.
this is not
Straight down.
it's negative 47. I'm guessing
I'm super bullish, Solana.
it's negative 47 right now. I'm guessing that's
Straight
bad.
down.
It's
John,
bad
give us
quote.
give us this tweet. SEC will approve an XIV copycat. That's the volatility ETF that blew up the market.
Hang on. Give some respect. Who tweeted this?
At Hide Not Slide. Do you know who that is?
Yeah, I pulled this tweet.
Okay. Go finish it
He
then.
said SEC will approve an XIV copycat. XIV was the shit that blew up. An
That's
ETF
awesome.
that
Swept the whole market, right?
This is an ETF.
That's the one where the guy made the video crying.
It was awesome.
This is an ETF that had
I wasn't in it. I don't care.
real negative equity market structure impacts just 3 years ago, but will not approve a Bitcoin ETF. Come on now.
Yeah. So you could say that if you're pseudonymous on Twitter.
So
Right.
doesn't mean it's wrong. What are you talking about?
Tyrone, do we need this ETF that everyone's been obsessing over?
man,
do we
you
really
do-
need
you
it
do me to
anymore?
something. No, we never did.
We almost passed it.
Yeah, we never did. Remember Consensus a couple years ago, and we were on stage and set the world on fire with that. We never needed a Bitcoin
You were
ETF.
against it because you felt like it was what's the right word? Like bastardizing the original intent
Yeah,
of crypto.
Yeah, it was
mainstreaming it.
right. And again, you look at it now. We still don't have it, so we're going to get a Bitcoin futures ETF.
Hate.
Now
Hate.
I mean, come on.
I'm not in that.
And again, Shout out to my Wisdom Tree family. They're investors, and Jeremy Schwartz and the whole folks. I know it was up here. And
Is that who's doing it? They're trying
yeah,
to do
well,
the
they have one in, and I hope Wisdom Tree gets it right.
Yeah,
Well,
sure.
they have a
Jeremy.
spot one in. Yeah, Jeremy and folks at Wisdom Tree. So
That's cool.
Jeremy's like, can we call a truce on you like slamming the Bitcoin ETF? I'm like,
No.
no, but so no, we don't need it. We will get it at some point because advisors want an easy way to slide the fact sheet across to the client and say we're putting this in and pretend they know, and it's just it means a lot of money.
You know what that's like. You ever hear the term skeuomorph?
No,
Have you heard this
nobody's
term?
heard that term.
Okay. So the way Apple was designing the original user interface on the Mac, they would make things look like their offline counterparts so that people would be comfortable with them.
What do you mean?
So on like an Apple desktop or even a Microsoft desktop, where do I put my files? It would be the icon is a picture of a file cabinet.
Okay.
How do I make phone calls? It's a picture of an old school telephone. Those are skeuomorphs. And in finance, especially with financial advisors who are not risk takers by nature, you need to make things feel like an old thing that they're already comfortable with.
Yep.
Which is the whole. That's why everyone's so excited about the ETF. The retail has moved past it.
Yeah,
They don't need it.
Nope.
It's really more about advisors needing some comfort level. A Morningstar fact sheet for a crypto ETF
Yeah, but
is
you know
a
what?
game changer.
Game changer.
On-ramp could
100%.
create
right.
on-ramp could create a
People
fact
still
sheet
read those?
for advisors.
Yeah, well, we have fact sheets in our On-Ramp
Probably
Academy
online.
for every crypto that look very similar to Morningstar ones. But yeah, we could do that. And we've done it. And that's one of the things when we built out On-Ramp Academy is like our fact cards for crypto has to look like Morningstar, and they do. So yeah.
So
but
here's another one that's funny. Stefan Cheplik. Is it Cheplik? It's Cheplik.
Shout to Chaplik.
Yeah.
Just got married recently.
He tweeted, "This has to be the worst performing SPAC I've ever seen. Upheld Holdings down 85% since June, the day it became a public company. Just straight down. Post-market retweeted and said, very solid job by the SEC protecting the best interest of investors. Love to see it."
In fairness, probably the reason this plunged is because regulators are putting more scrutiny on all of the SPACs. So in fairness,
that's not fairness.
a lot of the pressure on SPAC prices is because now it's being paid attention to, which it should be.
Remember
So-
when SPACs peaked? February.
Just the picking and
True.
choosing of what can come out, that XIV bastardized product, the triple lever inverse crude ETFs. Give me a freaking break.
yeah.
Let's go to this before we're going to go into JC's charts in a minute, but let's do this Bitcoin held by public
This is a good one.
corporate treasuries.
This is a good one.
So what is this showing us?
So the left chart, the left squiggly is the price of Bitcoin, the thing that we're paying attention to. Corporate treasuries, this is probably all Michael Saylor, own two. I legitimately think he owns 150,000. Is that
He has 150,000
How many-
Bitcoins.
is that right?
Yeah,
I think
it's
more
like-
than that.
Okay.
It's like $5
It's like
billion, yeah.
$2.5 billion
CEO of the year?
I think
Okay,
it's a little
so
more.
CEO of the year?
I think it's
Maybe.
more.
Or worse.
Corporate,
or the worst.
corporate treasuries own 202,000 Bitcoin.
That's not that many.
No, it's light.
Right.
But
If
it's-
there's
that's-
21 million eventually, corporations
but guess
will
what?
need to own
But
a
guess
lot
what?
more.
Exactly.
I mean, if you look at the chart, obviously, right up and to the right.
How much does
it's very
Ritholtz own?
simple.
On our
The
balance
Red
sheet.
Hole-
On our balance sheet, 0.0.
All right. Just wondering.
So maybe that'll change. And then what is this? Top banks investing in crypto and blockchain.
All right, so this is my point. It's
Let me all-
put this chart up, John, if you can.
it's actually a table.
Everyone is here. And
Everybody's in the game now.
US Bank Corp just announced that they're going to be doing it for clients. Everybody is here. UBS, Citibank, Morgan, Goldman, JP, they're all here.
Tyrone, are you guys in that right column?
We are under NDA with one of the logos up there that I can't say.
Everybody
Oh,
is
shit.
here.
Oh.
Just saying.
It looks like the
Just-
cover of a secondary offering.
Just saying.
Well, it's JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs, ING.
saying.
So my point is, I
Nomura,
think a lot of
Barclays.
We're buying all of them,
a lot
by
of
the
the
way.
rails, a lot of the groundwork is being built today, but the allocations are coming. I don't even think they've begun.
They haven't. It's not even. It's still very early for that
So for the-
institutional money and.
So
stuff
for the people
flowing.
that are like, aren't you worried about regulatory risks? Like, don't you understand? All the rich people are in now. Now you can't kill it. Like
Tudor
if,
Jones,
if
Druck.
you wanted to kill this
Novogratz.
5 years ago, you still
Yeah.
had a chance.
Now you
Absolutely.
can't leave.
There's
Exactly.
no way. There's too many powerful interests
Yep.
are now in the game, and that's game over for this idea of
And
like it's going away.
Don't you think that like These, of course, Bitcoin could fall 70, 80%. Of course it can. But I feel like the battleship of these institutions has already turned. They're not going to be scared off by a dip, I don't think.
No.
And shouldn't things get less volatile the longer they're alive?
So
just
I feel
generally
like
speaking?
Of course.
Well, there'll be new ones that are just as volatile. So,
So
you
I-
have something for everybody,
I
I
think the
think.
floor.
Yeah,
the
Bitcoin might get boring, but the other ones
Right.
won't be.
Yeah.
That's the other thing, though. It's like people, I think it's 13 years old, right? It's anything 13. We were 13. We were
Shit.
volatile.
Mad
right?
volatile.
Like, yeah.
Bar
So,
mitzvah and volatile all at the same time. I had a mullet.
Let's talk
In
stocks.
1990, I was 13.
You should bring it
right,
back.
exactly.
I really
my God.
legit had a mullet.
Let's
Could you
talk-
imagine if he brings back the mullet?
Yeah.
Go to stocks. Let's
You
go
know
to
what
stocks.
haircut I had? Like Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves.
Oh my God.
I'm
Yeah.
telling you.
Kevin Costner or
We'll
Russell
find a
Crowe?
picture. We'll
Yeah,
put it
go,
in the
go
YouTube.
to go to stocks
All
so
right,
I can
JC,
start
we're
answering my Slack messages.
we're gonna do your charts here.
Let's go back
Are these
to
good charts or are these like
1980.
are these decent charts? What do you think? They good charts?
Listen, I only bring you guys the things that I think are the most interesting, and sometimes you think they're interesting, and sometimes you don't. So
All right, let's
you know.
do it. Let's
No,
do it.
always.
What are we looking at?
These are new 52-week lows in the S&P 500 relative to the CRB index. So a funny thing happened over the last decade is that many investors forgot that commodities were an asset class too. And if you've been in this business for longer than a decade, if you've only been in this business for a decade, you think it's just stocks and bonds. But if you've been in this business longer than that and you remember other cycles, there are 3 asset classes. In fact, the most hilarious part is that the way to remember that used to be BSC, the Bear Stearns ticker symbol, bonds, stocks, and commodities.
And crypto now.
I never
4
heard that
asset
before.
classes.
I remember BSC though.
Right, but
Shout out
that's
to
how I
crypto assets up
remembered
there,
the
dude.
cycle, right? So new 52-week lows, and notice how commodities first started to outperform the S&P 500. What sparked that was when crude oil traded below zero.
Yeah.
So
Negative $30.
Can you think of a better catalyst to spark a new commodities secular bull market than crude oil trading $30 below zero?
That's going to be one for the history books.
For sure.
We'll never forget the day crude traded negative.
It's incredible. Remember the old joke?
That's
Oh, I
wild.
think they're supported zero. Well, you can't.
Maybe not.
You can't use that anymore. So CRB index, go to the next chart. Look, new 6-year highs, right? You know, what do we know about new 6-year highs? We know they're not characteristic of a downtrend. Crude oil making new 6-year highs if you want to go down one more. So when you see commodities outperforming, when you see crude oil making new 6-year highs, there's a big word that you think of with a capital I.
Inflation.
And if there's inflation, you're probably going to get higher interest rates. So if you're going to the next slide,
Oh, you're telling a story.
kablam.
That's a good chart.
New highs in the,
The
10s.
banks are going nuts right now.
Next chart.
I know.
We
I
buying
saw this
banks?
coming.
So if you have higher interest rates, who are the best 2 sectors?
Mr. Jones, the name of the company is Wells
So,
Fargo. Ticker
Wait.
WFC.
What's EQRR?
Grab a pen.
Is
Let me
that
walk you through this idea.
Equities for rising rates. Did you make that or is that a
No, this is a
love
real
it.
ETF.
I love it.
They got side convos.
I was about to pitch Wells
about to
Fargo.
pitch Wells
Super
Fargo.
bullish. No, okay. All right. So what are we looking at here? Equities for rising rates
Grab the
has its own
rebuttal.
ETF now.
Been an ETF for a while, as
Okay.
you can see in the chart, right? About 3-4 years.
What's inside of it?
So what's funny is that what's inside of it, when you look, well, it's theoretically stocks that tend to do well when interest rates are going higher, right? And when you look at it, half the stocks are either energy or financials.
Okay, that makes sense.
So that's why what we did is equally weighted energy and
The
financials,
same
and notice how they look exactly the
Yeah,
same.
you're the best.
You're good.
These
man.
are dope charts. You weren't lying.
So clearly this is a breakout in the making.
So commodities going higher, interest rates going higher. I think you got to own the financials. Go down one more.
All right, I'm gonna start buying.
These are
stocks
regional
again.
banks. Look at those 2018
KRA.
highs. That's when
All
the world peaked. That's when the bull market ended
When?
and a new bear market started in the early
18.
2018. Right?
That was the trade war.
Maybe.
Up everything cyclical.
I don't know what that is, but that's when stocks started
give it to
to
you.
fall over, throughout the world, right?
Right.
China, emerging markets,
He's dying.
stocks everywhere stopped going up, regional banks included. Obviously, I don't know what a trade world is, but that's what happened.
He just said trade world.
Trade world.
This guy.
I don't know what that means.
Yeah, keep going. Let's
Is that why stocks fell? 'Cause of
let's
a trade
stick-
world?
Let's stick to charts.
So then this is right up your alley.
Okay.
These are so if interest rates are going up and crypto's going up, why don't you own the banks with crypto exposure? Oh,
All right.
so you get 2 for the price of
Who's
1.
that?
All right.
What do these banks have to do with crypto?
What is it? Silvergate Capital?
Silvergate.
So this is what they have to do with crypto is above my pay grade. I'll let Tyrone. But every time you're like moving money between Binance to this one, those names come out on like they're on the screen.
You know about Signature Bank and its role in crypto? I never heard of any of this.
It's very Signature and Silvergate actually they're involved. Which is
Silvergate La
helping
Jolla.
folks.
Shout out.
Yeah,
Shout out La Jolla.
Silvergate is for crypto companies that want an account because you couldn't go get an account somewhere. So
they're doing the
they're
banking for
helping that.
crypto companies.
Companies, yeah.
Okay. That chart looks sick.
And then go one more down, and you're looking at Silicon Valley Bank. That's the
Silicon
strongest
Valley.
one of
Oh,
all.
that's public?
This is the one.
Forever.
Silicon Valley
That's
Bank
like
is one known.
that's almost like a NASDAQ proxy.
You're not going to find a bank stock that looks that strong.
No,
Maybe it has to
sick.
do with crypto. Maybe it doesn't. I don't know. I don't care. But that's the strongest one. So if it's above 665, you own it. It goes to
SIVB.
1,000.
Silicon Valley Bank back in the day would take stock certificates from companies as like payment for services. Like they were very, very visionary when it came to helping Silicon Valley companies like get started.
They're
But
good.
how many banks do you know making new all-time relative highs?
They're good.
I can't.
Relative to what? What's this relative to the sector?
The S&P 500.
Okay.
I can't name one.
JP Morgan?
Actually, off the top of my head, JP Morgan is definitely not making
This
new
thing
all-time
looks-
relative highs.
This
To the
thing looks
S&P?
ridiculous.
JP Morgan
So we're
relative
buying
highs? No.
Oh,
financials.
no, you're right.
Got it.
Yeah, I can't
Wait,
think of another.
because the relative highs in financials were 2006,
7.
7. But that's why
Um,
it's definitely way below that peak, obviously.
yeah, I mean, listen, it's on a case-by-case basis. My point is, how many bank
JP
stocks?
Morgan is way higher than where it was during the financial
No, but
crisis.
Fine, but
not
I'm
relative-
talking
not relative
relative
to the S&P.
highs. How
Oh,
many
no,
bank
no.
stocks
Okay.
can
Yeah.
you think
All right,
of
0.
that are? I mean, there might be more. I just can't think of any.
Right.
But this one is. So
Maybe
you
the
talk
credit-
about
maybe the credit card companies.
Yeah, and those are in the tech
Not
sector.
even banks.
And not
Right,
even
right.
banks, right?
Okay.
That's why they're doing so well, because they're not banks.
I gotta say, these are pretty charts.
You
You
like
have
them?
the best charts.
No,
Okay.
no Coinbase?
That means a lot coming from you.
You have the best charts in the
Coinbase
world.
Bank.
Well, I brought charts that are going up, right?
Fair.
So,
Listen,
Shout to Coinbase Ventures. Shout to Coinbase
it's
Ventures.
absolute garbage.
Next.
Ventures.
the stock price today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The stock price today and since the
Shout
IPO,
to the venture side,
literally,
though.
you got
We
all the
appreciate
VCs
y'all.
like dumping it to the unknown investors and just like
I never bought Coinbase or Robinhood. It's just not my type of stocks.
Robinhood's a crypto
I don't know.
company.
I don't know enough about
think-
it.
that was a good call on your part.
I
Stay
think
away from
Robinhood's
that.
cheap. Your thoughts?
It's cheap for a reason,
All right.
and I don't know the reasons,
20
but things that are cheap tend to get cheaper.
22 million accounts.
What else-
60%
what else
of
we
which
got?
trade
So
crypto.
So
Let's
keep
keep
going.
going.
Let's keep going, baby. So if financials are going up, 15% of that index is Berkshire Hathaway, baby.
Bang.
Wait, can I just ask you? That doesn't look potential. That's Coinbase, not potential.
We could look at something that has potential or something that is working.
Answer. What do you think?
Yeah, what doesn't have potential? Yeah, sure. It could go straight up from here. Absolutely. I hope it does.
Looks pretty good. Looks juicy.
Yeah.
Full
I'd rather be
disclosure,
in things
I
that
know
are
you like
already working.
things that are going up. I know.
Full disclosure, I'm
In a
long
bull
Berkshire.
market?
As you should. As you should.
You long Berkshire?
You're right. You're right.
All right.
So this is going.
15% of the financials is Berkshire Hathaway. So if you believe in the cyclical recovery, which I happen to, then you're obviously, if you know what's inside Berkshire Hathaway, you got a ton of railroads and industrials in there. So you're getting financials, you're getting industrials, you have that cyclical recovery, a well-defined risk reward. You only own it above 285, target at 430.
This dude
What
loves
else you
stocks.
want?
Loves his charts.
What else you want? Keep it going. Let's go. Next chart. So if Berkshire's going up, if financials are going up, JP Morgan and Bank of America can't be too far behind. Cyclicals peaked in May. So if you're buying cyclical stocks, industrials, materials, financials, energy,
Home builders.
you cannot be long if they are below their May highs. So you want to, as an investor, you're buying cyclical stocks, value stocks, you want to be long only above those May highs. And these are two perfect examples. Next
Bank of
chart.
America, JP Morgan both broke out this week.
So this is when people are like, oh, stocks only go up. It's like, well, the stock market peaked in February, and it is now October.
No, micro caps and small caps peaked in February.
And the value line, and biotech, and the IPO index, and,
And
emerging
SPACs,
markets,
and
and
SPACs.
SPAC. I can keep going if you want. The bottom line is, stocks peaked in February. They've done, most stocks have gone straight down since then. Some stocks have done well. Most stocks have not, as we discussed on the show last time we were here.
Wrong.
And these are Exhibit A, right? Straight sideways. Next chart.
What's this? This is
NASDAQ,
And this is-
NASDAQ composite.
And this is all you need to know.
are we
People that
looking
are like, oh, is the stock market going to correct? It's like, well, where the hell, where
it
the hell
already
have you
did.
been?
Thank you.
JC, 50% of NASDAQ stocks had a 20% drawdown this year.
Ooh,
That's
volatile.
noteworthy.
It's volatile.
Half the stocks in the NASDAQ are down or have been down 20%.
And 20% of the NASDAQ's down 50%.
Ooh,
Yeah.
advisors,
So
fiduciary
if you're
People
waiting
talk about
for-
bull market, but I don't even think most people are even aware of that unless there are people that are like own all these stocks in their account and they're looking at these drawdowns
No, here's what I've been
individually.
saying. In a bull market, most people pay attention to the index. Is that my phone? Sorry, that's not. That's me. In a bear market, people pay attention to their stocks.
That's a good point.
Like in a bull market, all of these stocks that are getting annihilated, Zillow, Zoom, Teladoc, nobody gives a shit.
Who's nobody?
The media, fine, I'll say whatever.
Who cares what the media thinks?
That's not my point, asshole. My point
We're talking
is
about investors.
my point is, you know what's going on underneath the surface.
Aren't journalists not even allowed to trade? Why does it matter what they think?
My point is, most people pay attention to the index in a bull market, and the bear market stocks they just don't know about.
Yeah.
The general person.
Unless
not you.
unless we're
Yes.
talking about stocks that are extremely widely owned and commented upon.
Right, like Apple. So
I guarantee you, if Apple were in a 20% drawdown,
Everyone knows.
people
Everyone
would
knows.
know.
Everyone
for
knows.
sure.
Yeah.
No
Right.
doubt. No
People
doubt.
don't care if Zillow is down.
If Apple's in a 20% drawdown, the market probably is
Right,
too.
but all of these people that you're telling me that listen to the media don't matter. What moves markets is institutional money where this does matter. So if you don't matter as an investor because your portfolio is just so small that it could go to zero, it's not going to affect anything. But when you have $1 trillion in assets, you care.
Because you
And
own
that's-
the individual
And that's what
stocks.
matters, right? That's where the alpha is. And those are the only people that matter in this whole
I think
scenario.
we're talking past each other.
What else is new?
Next chart, John.
Next chart.
All right. Oh, this is where it gets
gold.
good.
Listen,
baby.
you don't need to be a PhD or a CMT or a CFA to know that these lines are not going up.
Okay, this is silver versus
Why
the
does
S&P.
gold look like such
and
shit?
gold
'Cause
versus
nobody
the
wants
S&P.
When
those
all of the
rocks.
commodities are rising.
Because it's not a commodity, clearly. It's currency, and it's a shitty one at that.
That's a good point. Maybe that's what it is.
How much of the money, if you had to guess, nobody actually knows, how much of the money coming out of like GLD is going directly into Bitcoin?
Probably some, but it's not material enough because, the gold market is what, 11 trillion, 12 trillion, something like that, and crypto all in is
It's
2.
Yep.
So is some of that happening? Sure. But is that the reason that gold doesn't go up? I think it's probably bigger than that. The bottom line is, if you've been in precious metals over the last year, like I said before, it's because you're looking at charts with blindfold on, right? There's no reason to be in this unless you're like a scalper or a short-term trader or very short-term trader. But if you're like an investor of any kind from an intermediate to long-term.
So I think there's a lot of money trapped in these things that expected this explosion in inflation to lead to like gold 5,000. And it's so embarrassing what's going on here.
Right. It's great.
Like your whole theory,
great.
there are people that base their whole lives around this theory that one day there would be crazy inflation. I think we're experiencing crazy inflation.
So here's the way I was having a conversation.
I feel really bad for people that have done this to themselves. Like
I
they
don't.
fell in love with that fairy tale.
Too bad. What's happening is this. What's happening is this. There are the
no
gold bugs,
sympathy.
zero. The crypto people and the gold people agree on a lot of things.
Yes.
A lot, like almost everything, except the gold people want to hide in a bunker with guns and ammunitions, and the world comes to an end, and they come out on the other side. As opposed to the crypto people that agree with pretty much all
They
that
want to
stuff.
build a new world.
They're building alternatives. They're building options as opposed to just
What do you
giving
think about
up.
that?
I agree with that.
Yeah.
I think it's more about building an alternative to the
Bitcoin
current
people
financial system.
aren't nihilists or
Nihilists.
doomers.
You can't write nothing.
No, I mean, you
Lebowski.
got a few that are like
Yeah.
only eat meat and guns and war and all that, but but no, I
and
think,
NFTs.
yeah, and NFTs, yeah, and JPEGs, but majority are just like let's revolt and build a future.
NFTs are in a bull market and gold is not. So
There you go.
All right, let's
keep it going,
Let's
baby.
keep it
Hold
moving.
on.
So this is the chart.
Hold on. Shout to Justin Paterno. He's my window into the NFT world.
Shout to Justin Paterno for sure. Justin Franco, the Justins, just keep killing it.
Yeah.
And shout out to Danny Jassy, who's the one who brought that up about the gold bugs have just given up while the crypto folks are building
I saw
alternatives.
Frankel at a concert at Jones Beach 2 weeks ago. Black Crows.
Nice.
Yeah.
I love Joe. That's a great venue.
What?
Justin's killing it in NFT world too, I think.
Totally.
So
100%.
what? Really quickly, what happens when a 30-year-old right now that is building a portfolio of NFTs walks into their financial advisor's office and says, "I have this portfolio of NFTs, which is basically
think
a
of it?
digital annuity
Yeah.
that I could draw income in, off of for life. Can you help me with that?" Like that's going to happen.
We can't.
Yeah,
But we will be able to, hopefully
Yeah.
one day.
100%.
Maybe with OnRam's help.
Absolutely. Shout out to the sticker on your
Shout out to the sticker.
Appreciate that. Shout out to the ramp.
All right, what do we got?
So listen, it's not that I don't have any sympathy for other people, but the market is a very selfish endeavor.
Okay.
You're in the
I
market
hate
for
when you say
one
more.
reason.
I kind of hate when you talk like this, but you're also right. You're not wrong.
If you're in the market for any other reason than to make money, you are a very confused individual and you should seek therapy. There's one reason to be in
But
the
what
market.
about all the friends we make along the way?
That has nothing to do with market participation.
Fair.
That's being good at happy hour.
Sure.
Which we just happen
And
to be.
being good at happy
right.
hour.
Yeah, we're great. I'm like, Josh was like MVP in 06. You know,
Yeah, I can't do it like I used to do it. All right, gold versus commodities.
go back. There you go. So,
Okay.
Batnick, this is the chart, right? So,
New
literally,
multi-year lows in gold versus every other commodity.
This is
why should we have sympathy for anybody who's been bottom fishing this whole way down?
man.
I don't understand.
This is as ugly as a chart can
Honestly,
be.
this is a sad looking chart because you see the failed rally. It's just like, oh, we have
And then look at CPI. Look at like all these things that you thought were the reason behind why this acts the way it does.
I think gold is broken.
Yeah,
That's the bottom.
that's the bottom. Buy it. All right, next. Next, we don't.
Isolate that, John. Isolate that. That's a bottom.
John, next. We're gonna run out of time. I want to get
The
to
metal that works is the base metals.
The doctor.
Dr. Copper.
And Dr. Copper is one of the worst ones. Aluminum, tin, zinc, nickel, lead, those are all working. Copper's the underperformer.
Palladium fell apart too. So precious metals suck.
Well, palladium is like,
Part
in its
industrial.
own world.
Yeah.
Palladium is like in
It's like
purgatory.
It's like
in trade world.
It's like the algorand of precious metals.
It doesn't know. It's still figuring itself out. So my favorite Head and Shoulders tops are the ones that are not that. Right? So if you think copper's a Head and Shoulders top that's about to collapse, I think we're going to take the other side of that. And this is a continuation pattern. And if copper takes out those highs, that means copper's breaking out of a 10-year base. And if copper's breaking out of a 10-year base, what does that say about stocks?
You want to take physical delivery immediately.
Emerging markets? Oh no, that broke down. We're doing.
You want to take physical?
For sure.
We're looking at charts.
Give me my
we're
copper.
doing charts on a podcast. That's how talented JC is, and he can
No,
make
he
this
is,
work.
though.
I could have drawn them for you if you really wanted to. Next chart.
Whiteboard.
So if oil's breaking out to new 6-year highs, right, and breaking out to and
All right, wait. Let's back up. So crude oil, as we're taping, is $77. This is a big deal. This was a negative number a year ago.
Wild.
Shit. Right? Well, maybe not a year
A year
ago.
and a
Maybe
half.
a year and a half.
Yeah, a year and a half.
Okay. What's going on with just oil price? Like, this is the real thing? We're going much higher, you think?
I think we'll be at 100. We could be at 100 in a week or two. If we've learned anything about oil, is that if you
Does
think
whatever it wants.
if you think oil can't go any higher,
Thank God I
it
don't have a
can.
car.
And if you think oil can't go any lower, it
Yeah,
can.
you shouldn't get an Escalade.
Maybe you shouldn't. Based on this chart,
No Hummer?
I think you should rethink
Hummer
the
for the summer?
Escalade.
I think $100 oil is coming. And if $100 oil is coming, you think copper and copper miners are going to be breaking down to new 52-week lows? That's just not the bet that I want to make. Can it happen? Of course, the market can do anything, but that's not for me. I think you dig in here, you buy the Freeports, you buy the copper miners, you buy Chile. You know what I'm saying?
Ooh, Freeport, big rip today off the potential support.
We put on a
levels.
risk reversal
All right,
yesterday.
next chart. Chart on.
All right, this one's very Josh Brown. I brought it for you. It's an energy name.
Hess midstream.
Remember the old days? They used to call these things
MLPs.
MLPs.
To
What
call
happened to
these
that?
things.
MLP
do.
was great. Remember Annie Up?
Annie up.
Can we play that?
There you go.
We don't have the licensing to play that. All right. Hess midstream, HESM. What's going on with this chart?
I see a 7.2% dividend yield and a breakout from a 3-4 year base with energy making new highs and interest rates going up.
Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
meaty.
if you like getting paid while you're making money, this is the chart for
Who
you.
doesn't like that? All right. What else we got?
Keep going, baby. So you're gonna love this. This is very Josh Brown and Batnick. I love this. So of course, because
This is good. This is good. I saw
ETF
this
companies are not in the business of helping investors. ETF companies are in the business of giving investors what they want, right? If there's demand for an oil ETF, they're going to build one for you, right?
That's a jewel.
So of course the opposite is true. And if there's no demand for an ETF,
they shut them down.
They shut them down, and
definitely don't make new ones.
They have an uncanny ability to do that just when you need it most. And then obviously thermal coal futures went up 1,000% right after they delisted the coal.
KOL is gone.
Squadoosh.
Who was the last dollar in that thing? Somebody that forgot they had money in it.
Exactly.
Somebody who lost their
Mitch
password.
McConnell.
But look how great that ETF would have done if that was still around a year later. Right?
Although it did crash right after it got delisted, but then
Fine. And then up 1,000%.
Up 1,000%.
All right, now go to the next chart. They're about to delist the frac ETF. So go look at the list over there. ConocoPhillips,
That looks
EOG,
good.
Pioneer, 6-year relative
why are
highs.
they
It looks
delisted?
great.
When are they delisting
Could
it?
they undo it?
Next Friday.
Could they undo that?
So you want to be long. You want to be long.
You want to go to the next slide. Those are the names you want to keep an eye on.
These are the best names in the
Pioneer,
market.
Hess,
These are the best names in the
Occidental.
market.
I mean, you're not going to get an argument from me. So, like I said, the ETF companies have an uncanny ability to do that. Go to the next 2 slides real quick. Actually, before we do that, let's look at Oxy. So how are we going to take advantage of this? Oxy's on that list, on the FRAC ETF that they're about to delist. If Oxy's above 33, I think you flip the book. It goes to 46.
Flip the book.
Flip the book, baby. Let's go.
What year is it?
Flip the whole book into
Hold on, it gets
What
but
year
wait,
is it?
margin 2.
there's
Margin
more.
2?
Even better.
Calls?
They trade warrants.
Oh, word. Oxy warrants.
God.
22 strike, 2027 expiration.
Man, I love this.
So it's like a super
How,
leap.
how many warrants can I put you down for?
All right, there's a lot.
your
Mr.
wife.
and Mrs. Anderson.
ask
There's
your
a
wife.
lot.
Come on.
Oh man.
Flip the book.
He's
It's the
talking
best
about
I've ever heard.
Flip the book, Oxy, baby. And then part of the catalyst is the ETF companies are
I'm dead.
delisting the FRAC.
Oh,
And remember, so just a great, hilarious is when the ETF companies thought in their brilliance, there was plenty of demand for real estate in 2006. So let's give them an ETF. And then
Okay.
it lost 80%.
So this is
did the-
iShares U.S. Home Construction. These are builders. Why aren't these stocks up more?
Well, this
No, that's,
chart,
that's the bottom.
Oh,
this
this-
chart ends in 08.
Oh, okay.
It just
Gotcha.
lost 80% off inception. And look at the next one, XHB did the exact same thing. Immediately after fund launch. So I'll take the other side of
Okay.
that. And now that they're delisting these ETFs, if you want another catalyst, if new highs weren't enough for you, right? And then Marathon looks great too. 14.5, that's the level. If we're above that, flip the book. It's going to 24.
How many
MRL.
books are we flipping here?
Yeah,
How
I
many
already
books you
flipped
got?
it. I already flipped the book
Flip it again.
into physical copper. I got to get liquid on my copper.
All right, and then this one's for Ty.
Let's go.
Looks good.
If this ratio between Bitcoin and the S&P 500 is above 7.0 and you don't have long exposure in crypto, you are being irresponsible to your clients and your family.
Yo, the book flipped
Flip
you.
the book. Flip the book.
So this is the chart of all charts. If
buying
you are
this.
not exposed to crypto, if this chart is above 7.0,
this is a
We get
ratio-
it.
this is a-
Sometimes you
enough
flip the
Bitcoin.
book. Sometimes the book flips.
This is a
you.
ratio chart: Bitcoin versus S&P. Is this a
Bitcoin-
meaning? Is this a meaningful relationship IRL, or just like it's an interesting chart?
Nope.
it bottomed at exactly where it peaked in 2018. So that's probably a coincidence.
Yes, I
according
agree. I agree.
According to
I agree.
academics.
Big coincidence. One has nothing to do with the other.
right.
Absolutely nothing.
Okay,
like
supply and demand would.
There's no supply and demand between Bitcoin and the S&P.
All right, we'll have
In
we'll have to
your
pick-
opinion,
We'll have to pick this part up later. You got any more charts?
yeah, go down that one. That's the last one.
Okay.
I mean,
Algo.
Got
Okay.
here.
they look exactly the same. And
Oh,
they-
these are shit coins.
What are these? These are all protocols. Tyrone, what are these things?
You know all these.
So yeah, it's funny. Yeah, Avalanche. What you got there?
Oh, Avalanche has been ripping lately, right?
AVAX, baby.
It has.
Yeah.
Yep. Cosmos.
What's EGLD?
When does
was
when does
interesting to compare.
Avalanche report earnings?
Now, why do you choose the tether? The tether pairing. Why do you do that?
Just for liquidity
Just for
purposes.
liquidity? Okay,
Yeah.
makes sense. Makes sense.
Yeah.
Cosmos.
So very
Algorand.
simple.
Yeah,
You
are-
own them above the first half highs.
These are
if it's
the altcoins.
if they're above the first half highs, you
Pay
own
these
them.
no mind.
If they're not
Pay
above
these
the
no
first
mind.
half
No,
highs,
I don't care what you say, Tyrone.
I pay them no mind.
Why?
I mean, these are again. Now, here's the thing: if you trade, sure,
Right.
But if you're looking long term for meaningful projects, I don't know if you really want to pay attention to these, right? But if you're trading and
But relative strength.
listen to JC,
Relative
yeah,
strength.
yeah, relative strength.
I don't know what a project is, but if we're above the first half highs, you can own them.
There you go. Like my point is, what
that
is
simple.
Avalanche good for, right? Or
I can't
money.
even spell
Cosmos,
Avalanche.
maybe.
Making money.
Exactly.
What is
Yeah,
this?
There you go.
Bitcoin USD. Okay.
Yeah.
What do you want to show us here?
46, that's the level. So if you're above 46, there's no reason not to own it.
Well,
100,000 next.
I'm sold on this Bitcoin.
Well,
thing.
let me just tell you, I might be irresponsible. If Bitcoin goes to 20,000, I'm not selling.
Okay.
I'm just saying, I'm irresponsible.
If it's at 20, you shouldn't have owned it in the first place on the way down. You know what I'm saying?
JC.
I'm
charts,
writing it down.
The charts were dope. You weren't lying. You told
That was
us.
a good chart.
You told us the dopest charts of all time.
wasn't lying.
You were not lying.
He wasn't
Dopest charts of this week.